When you start addressing problems at the root cause, they will say you are either radical or you are being insensitive to humanity. They even try to convince you that there's dignity in begging. There's dignity in begging. There's nothing wrong with begging. And that is why a typical northerner is very comfortable with begging. Go everywhere. They have the highest number of beggars. There are so many in their state that they are now spreading across other states. And that is why I liked what Fashola initiated at a point in time. That all the beggars were arrested. If you catch any beggar on the street, you lock him up. You are not being insensitive to humanity.
The truth that a lot of us have in our minds, but we are too egoistic to say it out as it is. What really happened to Northern Nigeria? Northern Nigeria is a very diverse place. For those in the other part of the country who think that Northern Nigeria is just a language, is just Hausa. No. Northern Nigeria has more diverse languages than other parts of the country. It is a region that is built on brotherhood, a brotherhood that is sealed by trade, good relationship. When we talk about Northern Nigeria, a lot of people actually believe that Northern Nigeria is Hausa or Fulani. No, Northern Nigeria is not Hausa or Fulani. Fulani are not even the majority tribe in Northern Nigeria. We have tribes like Kanuri, we have the Kataf tribe, the Birams, a lot of tribes in the Northern Nigeria. But the truth is, the Northern Nigeria thrived as a hub of tolerance. But today, the Northern Nigeria has become a shadow of itself because of religious preachers. You know, in my other video, I criticize the fact that I do not support people to insult the religion. Yes, we shouldn't insult the religion. But the problem came from religious preachers. In the past, religion had scholars. They had elders. There were no preachers. There were leaders. For example, in the Muslim faith, there were imams. The imams led the mosque. They led the communities. They set the rules. They settled cases. They worked for the people. They were like local judges. The pastors in the regions where there were Christians, they were also like elders of their community. But when preachers started to spring up, when everybody became knowledgeable, when everybody started to say their minds, when everybody started to talk, when the microphone came in Northern Nigeria is a shadow of itself. You hear a lot of Muslims saying, most especially like places like Kaduna that have divided the state into two, Muslim area, Christian area. You see a lot of Muslims saying, if Kaduna were to be united, if the Christians were here today, we would have been enjoying this and that. And when you go to the Christian communities, they also say the same thing. Look at the areas of the Muslims are so well developed. And if the Muslims are here, we will not be facing all of these things. We allowed the microphone. We allowed the preachers, the activists to separate this wonderful arcade of unity. It was not a unity based on selfish interest. It was a unity that was based on collective interest. That is why a lot of the people from the other parts of this country do not understand. While growing up, I used to hear somebody called Abdullahi, somebody called Fatima, somebody called Zainab, and they were Christians. Even though Islam is the majority religion in the northern parts of Nigeria. But the people practice their religions freely, but they claimed Muslim names, and they were proud of it. There is a setup, I know, where somebody said his name Haji Isaac, because there was unity. They kept their faith, they kept their lifestyles, until the preachers came. We are not talking of elders. We're not talking of Islamic scholars and elders. We are talking of the preachers. The preachers who came and they started to preach disunity and they started to preach enmity. The preaching was always, your enemies are planning this. Your enemies are planning that. And everybody started to walk against each other instead of walking for each other. In Northern Nigeria, every Friday, there are people who want to convert to Islam. Today, is that happening? Today, we're even scared there are people who are going to leave Islam. Not because the Islam changed. Why were they coming before and why are they not coming now? Is it because the Islam changed? No, it is not because the Islam changed. It is because the people changed. The Northern Nigeria that is so much respected is being mocked. Because of what? Your initial strength of being tolerant, of being welcoming. The power is stripped off of you. Is it how we're going to sit down? I want to ask you something. Where are those activists today? I call them activists. I don't call them religious people. The real religious people are at home, settling cases, uniting families, bringing peace to the land. These are people who stand in front of the microphone, in front of the cameras, in our mosques and our churches, who always talk against others. And because we applaud them, when they talk, we shout Allahu Akbar. When they talk, we shout Hallelujah. That is the reason they succeeded. Now look at every one of them today. Some of them, the Muslim preachers, we know them. Some of them, they preach you, cover your eyes and cover your faces, but their wives are not wearing hijab. Some of them are telling you, divorce your wives, we're not going to tolerate this. They are misogynistic to women, but we see them with their wives in restaurants, abroad, chilling. Some of them are riding in private jets, but today you don't even have your farm to farm peacefully because there is insecurity. These preachers are the one who have destroyed the northern Nigeria. I'm not calling on Muslims alone, neither am I calling on Christians alone. But preachers are the problem of northern Nigeria and Nigeria itself. Let's go back to having scholars. Let's go back to having leaders. Let's stop having preachers. Those who come to the front of the camera and just preach whatever they like and say whatever would instigate the masses and would increase their agility, not what will increase their humanity. Today, northern Nigeria is weeping in the hands of these preachers. And then the enemy crept into it and expanded the whole thing. Before, it was a family issue. The Muslims fight the Christians fight the Muslims. Sometimes it was even ethnic. It was not about religion. It was the Hausa against the Kataf against the Hausa, the Fulani against this and that. But now it has expanded. Today, it is even inviting international recognition. And when you know that when international recognition comes in, of course, they are the liberators. They would bring democracy. And you know what democracy means. Democracy to your oil, democracy to your gold, democracy to your farms, democracy to your land. Northern Nigeria, it is time to ask each other for forgiveness. It is time to ask each other for forgiveness. Nobody is right. Nobody is wrong in this light. We have been deceived. We have been manipulated. It is time for us to all wake up. It is time for us to all wake up, because when we look back, we are all going to lose.
The northern part of Nigeria is the one holding us, dragging us back. And here is my reason. That Taiwan guy claimed that it's education that helped them. And in my capture, I used northern instead of using the whole Nigeria. And here's my reason. Do you know other tribes in Nigeria did not really need education to be smart? But I'm not saying they shouldn't be educated. Other tribe and region in Nigeria don't really need education to be smart. But when it comes to northern case, they really need education to be smart. That is why their religious clerics always deceive them not to get education. That education is haram. And you will notice their elite will never help them when it comes to education. See them shutting school down because of vaccine. Their religious leader have brainwashed them to the extent that the only thing that can save them is education. Now what do they now do in that part of the country? They deny them of education by all costs. What they do for them mostly is, getting them early marriage. And you notice when their elite always help them is when it comes to marriage. That they go fit born plenty children full everywhere. I'm remajeri. They are teenage, even marry at the age of 12, 13, 15. Even their alemajeri school that Jonathan built for them to be educated, because they are elites. And the religious clerics did not want them to be smart and educated. What did they do? They destroyed the school. But when you check other parts of Nigeria, they are not really religious. Check Yoruba part, check Igbo part, check the other region. They are not really religious. But the northern parts, we are too religious. That is why they keep using our head and they keep denying us of education, because that is the only thing that can make us smart.
There's a big attack on the educational system in northern Nigeria. There's a serious agenda to keep the people of northern Nigeria uneducated. Why was Almajiri's school system scrapped? Why was it abandoned? Why are the insurgents and insecurity affecting schools? Why is the Almajiri system that is leading a lot of children astray, that is causing untimely death of children, malnutrition? All these abandoned children are used as pawns during whatever. Why are they still allowed to function? Accounts for the lives of these children when they die untimely? Who accounts for them when they do not eat? Why is this system allowed to flourish in the north? Even though we know it does more harm than good. A lot of people will come after me and start attacking me and say, Almajiri, you don't understand it, keep quiet. I know, when I don't do it before, so it's not news. I'm not bothered about you and I don't even care about what you think. I'm just asking these questions. Why is it that all the schools that have been attacked are mostly in the north?
Northerners, please, I have a small discovery and I need to talk with you guys. So you guys have the right to flog your wife. Like use cane on your wife, just the same way you can flog a child. A northern man has the right legally to flog his wife. Now, I saw this post on Instagram yesterday. A lady was saying that a northern man has the right legally to flog his wife, to punish his wife, just the way you flog a child. And it's practicable in the north. And this law is under section 55, subsection 1, subsection D of the penal code. It is practicable in the north. They have the right to flog you like a child. If a northern man ever marry you, he has the absolute right to use cane on you, to punish you so far as you are his wife. Now, this is really very bad. So this kind of thing is happening in this country, and you guys are blaming men for being abusive. You guys are giving them power to abuse their wives. And you guys are blaming men for being abusive. Whereas in the north, they gave them the legal right to punish and flog their wives. Ha! Wahala day for this country called Nigeria. Wahala day, serious wahala day.
Salamu alaikum, barkanmu da warhaka. Sunana Nure Rima. Ina amfani da wannan dama ina mika sakonmu ga mai daraja Yusuf Magaji Bichi, shugaban DSS na Najeriya. Mai girma mai daraja, wallahi tallahi arewa muna cikin tashin hankali, arewa muna cikin annoba, arewa muna cikin bala'i. Matsalan tsaro iya arewa ta shafa, matsalan tsaro kudu bata san da shi ba, iya arewa mu kaɗai muka san da matsalan tsaro. Kuma akwai rawan gani da ya kamata a ce hukumar 'yan sandan Najeriya ta taka akan matsalan tsaro da ta shafi arewacin Najeriya. Mai girma shugaban DSS na Najeriya, don Allah dan mutuncin Muhammadu Rasulullahi sallallahu alaihi wasallam, kai gaggawan kama tsohon korarren shugaban 'yan sanda na Najeriya, wato alkali Usman Baba. Alkali Usman Baba lokacin da yake shugaban 'yan sanda na Najeriya, Inspector General of Police, akwai wasu hakkokin 'yan sanda a hannunsa wanda da shugaban kasa Bola Ahmed Tinubu ya kore shi ya wuce da su. Bugu da ƙari ya ci amanar hukumar 'yan sanda a ƙasar nan, dan akwai 'yan sandan da ya kamata a ce an ba su promotion. Alkali Usman Baba bai ba su promotion ba. Akwai wasu hakkokin 'yan sanda a hannun shi wanda alkali Usman Baba ya wuce da su. Shugaban DSS, don Allah don Annabi, ya kamata ka kama alkali Usman Baba ka gurfanar da shi a gaban kotu, domin akwai hakkokin hukumar 'yan sanda a hannun shi. Hukumar 'yan sanda sun yi aiki a ƙasar nan ka'in da na'in. Alkali Usman Baba ya yaudari hukumar 'yan sanda, alkali Usman Baba ya hanci hukumar 'yan sanda, alkali Usman Baba ya ci amanar ƙasar mu Najeriya. Shugaban DSS ya kamata don Allah don Annabi ka kama alkali Usman Baba ka gurfanar da shi a gaban kotu. Bugu da ƙari, tsohon Attorney General na Najeriya, tsohon Attorney General wato ministan shari'a Cika Malami, ya kamata kai gaggawan kamo shi, saboda akwai kalubale da ya taka lokacin da yake kan wannan kujera tasa. Akwai wasu shari'o'i da aka yi a ƙasar nan wanda tunanin mai tunani ma ba zai ɗauki irin wannan kalan shari'an da aka yi ba a matsayin shi na Attorney General na Najeriya. Wani hanya ya bi, wani irin magic ya taka da har aka yi irin wa'annan shari'a a Najeriya. Abin da nake ƙara kulle mana kai, akwai fa wa'anda aka kama fa suna safarin kokin daga ƙasan waje zuwa gida Najeriya, wanda hukumar 'yan sanda sun kama wa'annan mutanen an sake su. Hukumar 'yan sanda da suka kama su an kai su gidan yari, kuma yana Attorney General na Najeriya aka yi wannan. Shugaban DSS ya kamata don Allah don Annabi kai gaggawan kama tsohon Attorney General, ko kuma in ce korarren Attorney General Cika Malami. Bugu da ƙari, hukumar NDLA da ke Najeriya, shugaban DSS ya kamata don Allah don Annabi ka tarkato su gaba daya tun daga kan shugabansu Janar Buba Murwa. Ba don komai ba, kayan shaye maye yayi yawa a arewacin Najeriya. Bugu da ƙari, abubuwan wani su bangaren ma ta airport ake shigo da shi, kuma akwai hukumar NDLA airport. Yaya ake yi a shigo da kayan maye daga kasan waje zuwa gida Najeriya, kuma hukumar NDLA suna airport? Ya ake wucewa? Duk ya kamata a ce mun san da wa'annan abubuwan gabaki daya. Shugaban DSS don Allah don Annabi ya kamata ka tarkato hukumar NDLA ka zo ka daure bincike akan su. Dalilin ma da yasa muke so a yi bincike akan su, 12 ga watan Agusta shekara ta 2023 da muke ciki, ranar Asabar, hukumar 'yan sandan Najeriya sun kama wani inyamuri da koken a jihar Lagos. Ya kira Emeka, babban jami'i ne a hukumar NDLA, yace kuma wannan Emekan shi ya bashi wannan koken din yaje ya saida musa. Kaga kenan ta tabbata hukumar NDLA na safarar horon Iblis koken a Najeriya. Shugaban DSS na Najeriya Yusuf Magaji Bichi, ka taimake mu kamar yadda Allah ya taimake ka, ka taimake mu kamar yadda Allah ya taimake ka. Don Allah don Annabi a kamo wa'annan mutanen, a zo a daure bincike akan su, karshe ka gurfanar da su a gaban kotu. Mutanen mu sun san gaskiya, amma wasu suna jin tsoro ne saboda kalan yanda kasance suna jin tsoron ko za a kashe su ko za a yi musu wani abu. Ni kuma ina faɗa wa mutane a kusan kowane lokaci, Allah shi kadai ne mai kisa. Dan adam bai isa ya kashe dan adam ba. In kaga dan adam ya kashe ka, damar ranan kai ne ya kawo ƙarshe. so to ina kira ga ƴan uwana don Allah don Annabi duk wanda ya samu wani abu da bai taka kara ya karya ba, wani abu wanda ba shi da kyau, ai gaggawan sanar da hukumar DSS na Najeriya, dan DSS a Najeriya alkhairi ne. Muna muku fatan alkhairi, Allah iya muku abinda ba za ku iya ba. Shugaban DSS don Allah don Annabi wa'annan mutanen a tarkato su gabaki daya, tun daga alkali Usman Baba, Cika Malami da Buba Marwa da dukkanin ilahirin al'umman da suke aiki tare. Allah ya samu dace.
Hi, welcome back. I know many of you don't listen to routine. Many people don't they talk for here. Although most of these people be say that they talk now, Arewa youth now then they talk so, and I get joy the way that they talk.
Because if they understand within the explain for here, you will know the fact. See, there are people don't brainwash them. You understand that kind of stuff. That is why the region remain backward. They are the most backward region that we have currently now. That is why all their angry people now, the angry youth, especially the lady we be showing us na first see, we first talk. That's why the verse they come out, they talk whatsoever thing we say they like. You know, if to say that before where all these things they happen, you no go ever see any Arewa youth where it go ever come out on top any truth, because they use religion. But now where their eyes don't they open now, them say that they don't want to hide anything from anybody again. Anything that happens in their side, they make sure they unveil it for every one of us to see, so that we know that okay, this are the really causes of the thing. Now we see them to talk. Although just like the way that they do their thing now. I like the way that they move their thing towards their leaders now. It's okay, they know they give them space to like control them like non-entity again. Now so it just be you. And for you, it's okay the years now. Like if you get within you want to concerning this, make it drop what you get to talk below, and also if that be your first time, make it like, share, subscribe. Thank you.